Number 5, Mike Evans. So Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Bucks receiver. Um, every year since the start of his career, 1,000 receiving yards in a season. So future Hall of Famer, first ballot, underrated for what he's been able to do all these years. And I could see him not being a Tampa Bay Buck by the end of next year. I think he's got way too much talent to be in a mediocre team that's rebuilding, and I don't see him being a part of that rebuild process. So if they don't resign him, at least trade him or something. But he's a valuable receiver for a Super Bowl contending team. Mike Evans, 30 years old, 9 years in the league, 1 year, $14.5 million left in his deal. 15 games played and started, 77 receptions for 1,124 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, 14.6 yards per reception, 74.9 yards a game with 0 fumbles. In the playoffs, lost to the Cowboys pretty badly. He had 6 receptions for 74 yards, no touchdowns, and 12.3 yards per reception with no fumbles. No accolades, but he is an underrated receiver for a long time and a staple of Tampa Bay Bucks football, and probably the best receiver in Tampa Bay Bucks history. So he is number 5, deserves to be top 5. What he's been able to do, and I hope he continues to have 1,000-yard receiving seasons, regardless if he has a Tom Brady or if he has a Jameis Winston, or in this case, he has a Baker Mayfield now. So um, very good football player, fun to watch. Number 5, Mike Evans. Number 4, we got Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins receiver. Tyreek Hill is known as the Cheetah because of how fast he is. He's the fastest receiver in the game. He's actually done Olympic stuff for running 100 meters and 400 meters, 40-yard dashes. He's just a speedster, man, and he's one of those receivers that are just lightning quick. I don't know how to cover him really necessarily. You're gonna need a really fast corner to really cover Tyreek. Tyreek Hill. Formerly with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, won a Super Bowl. He's now in Miami and he's killing it. He's doing a great job, actually. He is saying that after this contract he'll retire, which would be really sad, but also really um, surprising because he would be 33 years old. But I mean, it is what it is. It's what he wants to do. It's what he wants to do. He is 29 years old. He's been in the league for 7 years. 4 years, $114.05 million left in his contract. He played 17 games and started 17. 119 receptions for 1,710 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, 14.4 yards per reception, 100.6 yards a game, 1 fumble. In the playoffs, lost to the Bills in the wild card, but they could have easily taken that game and beat the Bills, which that would have been a surprise, especially for them Super Bowl contending team being struggling with that, and I don't know. We'll see what happens with Josh Allen, but different story for different day. Tyreek Hill in the playoffs though, 7 receptions for 69 yards, 9.9 yards per reception, no touchdowns, no fumbles. He was ninth in MVP. He was fourth in Offensive Player of the Year. He was a first team All Pro and a Pro Bowler, so he had a great year. A lot of accolades. Almost could have won some major ones, but I mean, the list is hard to come by. There's so many people that had great years, and he's not the number 1 receiver in the league. But Tyreek is very gifted, very very gifted, and they're going to be dangerous this year with Jalen Waddle. So Tyreek, though, he should be top 5, and that's where he's at right now, especially with the speed being astronomically so far from the competition that it's not even funny. So, number 4, Tyreek Hill. Number 3, Devonte Adams. Devonte Adams is a superstar. He had tremendous numbers for a year that was so dysfunctional for the Raiders. I don't think Raiders fans want to talk about it. Josh Jacobs is the only guy that wanted to play football out there. The whole team was terrible. The whole franchise is terrible. It was disorganized. Nothing was ready. Nothing was built. Derek Carr was trash. So overall, it was a bad year for the Raiders. But Devonte Adams was the only upside for the Raiders. Devonte Adams, I don't know if he's going to stay a Raider. I don't know if he wants to be there. I do believe that they have a lot to work on. I still feel like they could be decent, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time and patience. Devonte Adams is 30 years old, 9 years in the league. He has 4 years, $116.64 million left on his deal. 17 games played and started, 100 receptions for 1,516 receiving yards, 14 receiving touchdowns, which I believe was the league lead, I believe. 15.2 yards per reception, with 89.2 yards a game, one fumble. He was a first team All Pro Bowler, didn't go to the playoffs, unfortunately. But overall, fantastic player, stud, and he should be top three. Other two are just way too good for me not to put him ahead of him, but he's still a standard, and he's still what people want to see on a daily basis. And as a Raider fan, it's high hopes to see Devonte Adams there. I mean, he's proven his superstar with Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr, and what he had to do with Stidham and all that. So overall, him and Jimmy G, I hope that they get it together and the Raiders can win some football games. But he is one of the best, and he should stay there, and he will stay relevant for a while. But I don't know how long he's got left in the tank, or if he wants to stay in as a Raider for the rest of his career. We'll see how it goes. But he is number three right now. Great year for him. Number two, Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs, the Buffalo Bills receiver. Um, Crazy guy, man. Crazy catches, crazy ability. Um, just superstar, another superstar. That's one of my favorite players to watch in the game. And it makes Josh Allen look better, and Josh Allen's made Stefon Diggs look better. This is a Bills team that is scary. They are contending for a Super Bowl. If they can get their injuries under control, I do believe that they can go to a Super Bowl. Just unfortunately, a lot of unlucky scenarios, and having Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes in the same conference, that's a problem. So, we'll see if they can go over the hump. I would like to see them do something great, though, and I'd like to see Stefon Diggs in the Super Bowl, just because he is such an elite receiver, and he's just so scary, man. Covering him it feels like it's impossible. And regardless of whatever you're doing, you can still do things like this one-handed catch in the Vikings game and whatnot, man. So overall, you always gotta love watching players that are constantly providing entertainment and providing that ability to not give up. So I like Stephon Diggs a lot. Um, Stephon Diggs is 29. He's 8 years in the league. 5 years, $99.52 million left on his deal. 16 games played and started. 108 receptions, 1,429 yards, 11 receiving touchdowns, 13.2 yards per reception, 89.3 yards per game with one fumble. In the playoffs, 2 games played and started, 11 receptions, 149 receiving yards, 0 touchdowns, 13.5 yards per reception, 0 fumbles. Second team All Pro and a Pro Bowler. So overall, he's had his fair share of a great year. He's had great years throughout his career. And, if he continues to do what he does and continues to progress the way he is a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Um, he's dangerous, and I hope to see him continuously climb up to being the best of the best still. And as of right now, there's one guy that's going to be number one for a long time, so I don't see Diggs being the number one guy. But you never know; things can change. Right now, though, Stefon Diggs is the second best receiver in the game as of right now, and he just needs more respect, in my opinion. And again, hopefully a Super Bowl championship in the future. Number one, Justin Jefferson. Uh, to be honest, I think he's going to be better than Jerry Rice. I think he's going to be better than Randy Moss. He's going to be better than T.O. He's going to be the best receiver that we have ever seen in the lifetime for 100 years. I don't know what I could say. He is a freak of nature. He does everything so smoothly. He catches the ball so smoothly. Doesn't matter where he's at in the field. You just throw it to him. Justin Jefferson will catch that. He is just something to watch, man. He's greatness in a nutshell. We are literally going to be taking for granted this because he's so young, but he is the best receiver. I feel like that's going to come down to it. The best receiver all time. First ballot Hall of Famer. He'll break some records, and yeah, he's something else, man. I don't know. He's just a freak of nature, like 6'3", 6'4", that can run uh, like 4.2 stumps and 40-yard dash, man. I mean, like he's fast. He's fast. People don't see that, but he's fast and he great route runner. Everything that you want in a receiver. Justin Jefferson is only 24 years old. He's played 3 years in the league. He's got 2 years, $22.14 million left on his rookie deal. So he's going to make a lot of money once that's done. Whether it's in Minnesota or somewhere else, I don't know. I could see him going to a different team and winning a Super Bowl somewhere. I do believe he has the ability to do that, to go anywhere he wants. People are going to want him everywhere, obviously. So, he's going to be big market man unless they do an extension for him there. But he played 17 games, started 128 receptions, led the league in receptions. 1,809 receiving yards, led the league in receiving yards. 8 touchdowns, 14.1 yards per reception, 106.4 yards per game, which led the league as well, with 0 fumbles. The one playoff game, the reason they lost that, I gotta say it's Kirk Cousins' defense as well. Hopefully their improvement with that is better this year. But he had 7 receptions for 47 yards, 0 touchdowns, 6.7 yards per reception. He was fifth in the MVP voting. He was the Offensive Player of the Year winner this year. He was a first-team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. There's nothing else I could say other than Justin Jefferson, keep doing your thing. Continuously get improvement with it. He's only 24 years old, so he's got a long time to become the best receiver at what he does, and he already is the best receiver in the game. So what can he do more? He can do a lot more. He's not even in his prime yet, so I'm excited to see what he does, and I do believe the future is so bright for the guy, and it's a good story. Great, great football player, fantastic. Good luck for him this year, but he is the best receiver on the planet.